Chapter 18b. Probable feelings causing illness. Abdominal area. Incorrect use of judgment, wisdom. Identifies with possessions and has little sense of self. Feeling possessive of someone. Worrying about others, but needs introspection to change self. Feels responsible for giving understanding, help and encouragement. Feeling undue tension, fear and anxiety, which constricts the energy flow. Disharmony and bondage in relationships. Bound up in present fears and not trusting. Abscesses. Seething. Unresolved hurt feelings. Wanting revenge. Accidents. High levels of stress. Tense and worried. Feeling a need to punish self. Feeling resistant towards authority. Feeling defenseless. Unable to take a stand. Wishy-washy. Feeling of being in the wrong place. Aches. Feeling of being all alone. Feeling separated from source of love. Feeling that nobody loves me. Aching to be held and loved. Feeling efforts have been thwarted. Feelings of sadness. Acne. Feelings of guilt. Feelings of self-rejection, dislike of self. Disowning what is happening in life, denial. Unwilling to face up to issues. Addictions. Distorted memory in the DNA. Unable to think rationally. Unable to perceive clearly and correctly. Disapproval of self. Running from self. Feelings of self-rejection. Feelings of despair. Feeling a void in the soul. Wanting to avoid feeling. Addison's disease. Lacks understanding of self. No sense of self. Anger at the self. Inability to understand own emotions. Feels no mercy for self. Adenoids. Acute disharmony in the home. Feels restricted in life or in breathing. Child feels unacceptance or hostility from someone. Feels unwelcome in the way. Adrenal problems. Feels like a victim. Feelings of being defeated. Don't care what happens to me. Attitude. Lack of courage. Feelings of anxiety. Misusing the will. Subconscious belief that life must have burdens. Unresolved jealousies and fears. Feeling that one must struggle for success, power, or position. Aging problems. Inability to accept now. Fear of being oneself. Long-standing unresolved negative feelings. AIDS. Feeling defenseless and hopeless. Feels nobody cares. Belief of not good enough. Denial of the self. Extreme, deep-rooted anger. Alcoholism. Inability to cope. Futility. What's the use attitude. Feelings of worthlessness, self-rejection. Feelings of living a lie, guilt, or inadequacy. Locked in by unresolved negative emotions. Locked in by believing the negative words of others. Protecting against feelings one is afraid to feel. Allergies. Suppressed weeping. Imitation substitute for colds. Feelings that don't seem to have an answer to change. fear of sharing feelings with people, feeling stifled, denying own power, Alzheimer's disease, tired of coping, can't face life anymore, feels unable to be in control of own life, feelings of inferiority and insecurity, suppressed anger, wants to live in own little world, feelings of hopelessness and helplessness, amnesia, unable to be assertive, to stand up for self, wanting to escape life's problems, running from life, fear of the future, anemia, angry at self for inability to control things, feeling life is not going the way I want, feelings of I'm not enough, manipulative but resentful at being manipulated, feels there is no joy, lack of order in life, anemia pernicious, feelings of total helplessness, have given up, deep unresolved grief, ankles, fears falling or failing, inflexibility, instability in present situation, ankles swollen, feeling overworked but can't quit, feels there is no relief from pressures in life, anorectal bleeding, anger, frustration, anorexia, feels totally unable to please parent, usually mother, feels unable to live up to expectations of others, feelings of self-rejection and self-hatred, anus, survival is threatened by outer conditions, feeling powerless in some area, anxiety, feels unable to call the shots in life, feels boxed in, feels helpless to effect a change, apathy, spark of life has been turned off, doesn't want to feel, appendicitis, undue fears about life, unable to deal with fear, energy flow is constricted, appetite, loss of, incorrect perceptions, causing distrust and a form of depression, excessive, feeding the need for love, acceptance, and protection, arteries hardening, fears being disappointed, hard-hearted, being dictatorial, feeling obstructed or delayed in life, unresolved feelings obscuring the flow of life, arteriosclerosis, long-standing inability to express feelings and emotions, unable to see the good, layers of unresolved feelings built up inside, refusing to be open-minded, arthritis, severely criticizing self or others, holding on to feelings of hostility, holding on to own opinions and beliefs, long-term tension or anger in life, feelings of anxiety and or depression endured over long periods of time, belief that it's wrong to get angry, which creates repressed anger that eats you up, need to be right, rigid in thinking and feelings, uncompromising attitude, inflexibility, arthritis rheumatoid, body is receiving conflicting messages, like laughing on the outside but crying on the inside, feels totally helpless in ability to change life's burdens, asthma, reliving childhood fears, need for dependence, chronic anxiety and fear, unconscious dependency wishes, feeling dominated by a parent, wanting to protest but unable, being oversensitive, suppressed sorrow or crying, feelings of being stifled, autoimmune system, laughing on the outside but crying on the inside, feels totally helpless, have given up, deep-seated or seated grief, back problems, feeling no support, can't cope with emotional difficulties, feeling burdened emotionally, feelings of frustration, wanting someone to get off my back. The back upper feels unsupported or burdened emotionally, withholding your love from others, feeling agitated or anxious, feelings of frustration, back middle, feeling guilty, lacking self-support, lacking in self-confidence, back lower, feels unsupported financially, experiencing fear where money is concerned, wanting to back out of something, in a relationship that hurts, running away from a situation, bedwetting, feelings of fear toward parent, usually father, unconscious anger, bladder problems, repression of sexual feelings, inharmonious male and female emotional relationships, sexual identity going unexpressed, unable to release things or ideas no longer needed, feels overconcerned with survival issues, money, job, or health, lack of order or obsessed with order, bleeding gums, inability to feel joy over decisions, blisters, feeling unprotected emotionally, resisting the flow of life, blood disorders, feeling powerless in some area of life, feelings of deep anger, feelings of long-standing ill will, intense depression, blood problems, not feeling joy in life, stagnant thinking, unable to flow with life, feelings of fear, bones broken, feelings of separation. The feeling nature is very obstinate or fixed. Bone problems, resisting authority, internally punishing self, bowels, fear of displeasing a loved one, fear of releasing the old that is no longer useful, fearful of not having ample means, unable to control outer situation, tries to control a substitute, unwillingness to relinquish control, inability to eliminate the possessive attitudes, brain, extreme nervousness, high anxiety, feeling unable to control life, breasts, conflict of worthiness, denying individual worth, feels conflict in nurturing ability, bronchitis, extreme disharmony in the home. A baby always feels the disharmony is their fault. Bruises, feels a need to punish self. Bulimia, mistaken self-image, inability to accept self, feelings of no control over oneself, unsatisfied needs never met, feelings of self-contempt, feels unable to measure up to others' expectations, bunions, constant and chronic fear, bursitis, feelings of anxiety, feelings of anger which have been repressed, feel you have lost control, feeling helpless to change a situation, tension buildup, holding back hitting someone, frustrated with the flow of life, calluses, inability to flow with life, not wanting to circulate and be open to new learning, Cancer of blood, leukemia. Intense depression, anger or ill will. Cancer of cervix, repressed anger. Of female organs, repressed anger, usually at male authority figures. Feeling an emptiness in life. Unresolved resentments. Feelings of hostility being suppressed. Rejecting the self. Feelings of despair. Feelings of loneliness being repressed. Poor relationship with parents. Inability to cope with a traumatic loss. Feelings of hopelessness, helplessness being repressed. Mental depression. Hold on to deep anger. Resentment, hate, revenge or jealousy. Not open to light or divine help. Subconscious death wish, no desire to live. Cancer, small of back. Continual inside strife, but appearing happy. Carrying life's burdens, unresolved emotional burdens. Cancer, stomach. Feelings of condemnation and hatred. Feelings of malice. Feelings of wanting to get even. Unforgiveness. Candida. Resentment multiplying inside. Inability to claim one's own power. Unresolved negative feelings molding in the body. Continually blaming others on a subconscious level. Canker sores. Unresolved negativity. Overwork coupled with emotional stress. Emotional upset. Anxious over details. Carpal tunnel. Feeling that life isn't fair. Inability to claim one's own power. Feeling justice is never served in your behalf. Cardiovascular disorder. Driven to compete, achieve and acquire material wealth. Feelings of agitation and impatience. Wanting matters to move more quickly. Low self-esteem. Chest. Belief and emotional center. Unidentified, unresolved fears. Not feeling approval. Inability to claim one's own power. Lack of self-love. Feelings of being unprotected. Hurts where love is concerned. Childhood disease. Child responding to mother's feelings. Feelings of helplessness. Emotional needs not being met. Feeling shoved aside. Cholesterol. Belief that I'm not supposed to be happy. Denying self-joy. Chronic diseases. Distrust the process of life. Unwilling to change for the better. Chronic fatigue syndrome. Feelings of despair. Feeling totally alone. Feelings of desolation. Feeling it's no use, hopelessness. No will to live. Low self-worth. Circulation problems. Feeling overloaded. Not enjoying job but can't quit or let go. Feelings of tension and discouragement. Feeling I must prove myself, but how? Coals. Unkind feelings towards someone. Confusion in the home. Confusion in life. Belief in seasonal sickness. Cold sores, fever blisters. Inability to express anger. Feeling pressured or burdened by responsibilities. Unable to cope with the pressures of life. Feeling resentful of the load you are carrying. Colic. Not happy with surroundings. Feelings of irritation. Feelings of impatience. Colitis. Overly concerned with order. Lose freedom. Worrying excessively. Feelings of oppression. Feelings of defeat. Feel a need for more affection. Colitis ulcerative. Often manifest in those with obsessive compulsive behavior. indecisiveness, feelings of anxiety, unable to express hostility or anger to whom you feel it, feels a need to conform, feels like a martyr, bottled up hate, conjunctivitis, feelings of frustration at what you see in life, feelings of anger toward life, not seeing the perfection in people and life, constipation, constantly fretting, unwilling to release old feelings and beliefs, resisting the flow of life, feelings of anxiety, unresolvable problems, determined to carry on, corns, holding on to hurts of past experiences, hardened feelings, coughs, nervousness, feelings of criticism, feelings of annoyance, feel like you're choking on life, cramps, fear of pain, holding on to incorrect perceptions of femininity, tension build up, cysts, feeling sorry for self, inability to resolve hurt feelings, cystic fibrosis, the belief that life works for everyone but me, cystitis, unresolved irritability, habitual unhappy thought patterns, deafness, not wanting to hear what is going on, lack of self-love, feeling of poor self-worth, wanting to be isolated, feels more comfortable in own little world, dementia, feeling hopeless and helpless, tired of having to struggle with life, unresolved anger, depression, feeling I'll never be able to be enough or do enough, feeling it's no use, feeling things are beyond my control, the hopeless, helpless feeling, insufficient exposure to sunlight, usually in winter, can also cause depression, diabetes, judging self or others severely, disappointed in life, ongoing feelings of sorrow, emotional shock, joy of life is gone, feeling it should have been different, obsessed with wanting to control, diarrhea, rejecting the visualization of something you don't want to accept, wanting to be done with somebody or something, running away from a situation, fear of something in the present, obsessed with order, dizziness, feeling overloaded, feeling I don't want to cope anymore, not wanting to accept things as they are, dowager's hump, unresolved anger, built up resentment, and carrying others' burdens, dry eye, unable to express grief, feelings turned off, incorrect perceptions from early years, keeping tears from flowing, dysentery, fear of the present, feelings of being unjustly dealt with, dysmenorrhea, feelings of anger toward self, inability to forgive self, ears, hearing corresponds to the understanding, hearing problems, trying to force someone to hear things your way. What are the advantages of not hearing? Earache, feelings of anger at what you are hearing. Don't want to hear what is going on. Children, can't abide the turmoil in the home. Eczema, oversensitive. Feel you're being interfered with or prevented from doing something, thus feeling frustrated. Unresolved hurt feelings. Unresolved feelings of irritation. Edema, sympathy for self keeping person from moving too fast. Body's way of putting on a cast. Feeling a need to be immobilized in some area of body. Holding on to something that is not necessary. Elbow, inability to accept new experiences. inability to change focus, resisting achievement or sense of confidence. Elimination problems, deep subconscious resentments, holding on to past experiences. Not letting go, which creates blockages. Tension buildup. Emphysema, feeling unworthy to live. Fears taking in life to the fullest. Endocrine system, drastic imbalance in life. Endometriosis, deep-seated, unresolved sadness going unanswered. Feelings of frustration. Feelings of insecurity. Lack of self-love. Wanting to blame problems on others. Energy, continual lack of. Unresolved, deep-seated sadness. Tired of the day-to-day struggle. Wishing you could quit. Epilepsy, feeling a need to persecute self. Wanting to reject life. Violence against the self. Eyes, circles under. Bitterness, remorse, regret. Self-condemnation, deep-seated grief. Feeling unfulfilled. Resentment, hurt. Glaucoma, protracted hostility. Watery, unable to express an inner grief. Not wanting to understand what you are seeing. Not seeing the truth. Fearing the future. Not wanting to see life as it is. Life is weak and out of focus. Not seeing eye to eye with another. Not forgiving. Inability to see one's own self-worth. Face, has to do with identity. Forehead, reacting to recent conscious thoughts. Paralysis, judging self harshly. Putting self down in favor of others. Feeling rejected. Feeling fear and anxiety. Having doubts about own competence. Can't face a situation, someone or something. Afraid of losing face. Problems with relationships. Fainting, fear of the present. Feeling unable to cope. An excuse to blank out. Fallopian tubes blocked. Nervous tension of long duration. High-strung temperament. Fat, feel a need for protection. Resistance to forgiving. Hidden anger. Fatigue, resisting life. Feeling bored. Not enjoying your place in life. Experiencing burnout in one's job or relationship. Feet, fear of the future. Fear of stepping forward in life. Lack of understanding in many aspects of life. Female problems. Emotional block where own sexuality is concerned. Feeling inadequate in sexual role. Feelings of fear or guilt about sex. Refusing to let go of the past. Feels to reject feminine nature. Emotional block where mate is concerned. Fever, feelings of anger unable to be expressed. Feelings of resistance. Emotionally burning up about something. Being affected by lack of order. Holding on to the past. Fibroid tumors and cysts. Ego has been injured. Unexpressed and unresolved hurts. Fingers, fussing over details of life. Thumb, affected by worry, depression, hate, anxiety, guilt, and self-protection. Index, affected by fear and resentment. Middle, affected by anger, bitterness, and sexuality. Ring, affected by grief and inability to flow with life. Little finger, affected by pretense, deceit, unforgiveness. Fingernails, biting, wanting to destroy oneself, resisting authority, overanalyzing tiny details. Flu, fear, belief in the worst happening to you, belief in mass negativity. C. Immune system. Frigidity, unresolved fears, resentments or guilt having to do with sex and sexual relationships. Fixations, complexes, or neurotic attachments affecting emotional nature. Fungus, inability to let go of the past, allowing the past to rule the now. Gallbladder, feelings of bitterness, feelings of anger, wanting to force things. Gallstones, feelings of bitterness, feelings of condemnations, feeling unyielding, feeling of pride, refusing to forgive. Gangrene, morbidity running wild, unresolved poisonous feelings. Gastritis, feelings of uncertainty, feelings of anxiety. Glandular problems, long-term, inappropriate feelings, unresolved feelings that have created gross imbalance. Goiter, feeling unfulfilled, feelings of being used, feel purposes have been thwarted. Gout, judging others harshly, feelings of impatience, feelings of anger held inside, rejecting others or world around you, wanting to dominate. Growths, false sense of pride, unresolved anger and resentments, inability to accept divine help, spiritual understanding and values out of balance, nursing buried hurts. Gum problems, not carrying out decisions once they are made. Hands, has to do with the ability to grasp or let go of ideas. Left, receiving or being passive. Right, giving and reaching out or acting aggressively. Fearing new ideas, fearing lack of opportunities. Hands have the ability to give or grab, explore or push away, hold on or let go, caress or punch. Hands arthritis, rigid, perfectionistic, or controlling personality. Severe self-criticism and criticism of others. Inflexible feelings repressed and mirrored in the hands. Hands cramps, conflict over ability and how to communicate it. Feels unable to communicate well verbally. Hands sweaty, fears making mistakes, fears appearing incompetent or foolish. Hay fever, unresolved feelings of rage or fear, unresolved feelings of grief or sadness. Repressed tears held back. Repressed aggression, wanting to get even, feelings of guilt. Headaches, tension and stress, inability to resolve emotional upsets. Hurt feelings going unexpressed. Feelings of inner pressure working on you. Feeling unable to control. Feelings of fear and anxiety getting the best of you. Unpleasant relationships. Inability to face an issue. Manifesting the need to laugh, sing praise, and express gratitude. Heart problems. Violating the laws of love, knowingly or unknowingly. Feelings of compassion or rejection being blocked. Feelings of resentment and or hurt. Not feeling approval from others. Upsetting family problems. Has a difficult time forgiving, including self. wanting to release from responsibility. In a relationship that hurts. Hemorrhoids, ongoing feelings of being burdened, feeling pressured or anxious, feeling fear or tension, inability to let go. Hepatitis, not wanting to change, feelings of anger, feelings of fear, feelings of hate. Hernia, feelings of anger, feelings of being burdened, punishing self. Herpes, feelings of guilt, feelings of shame, of anxiety, or of anger. Herpes simplex, wanting to speak words of bitterness, wanting to complain royally. Hips, fears making major decisions, has nothing to look forward to, lack of emotional and physical self-support. Hip joint, not wanting to accept present experiences, not accepting of physical experiences. Hives, small hidden fears, fears that are finally surfacing, feeling mistreated, inability to view things with the correct perspective, anger, perceiving someone has inflexible behavior, wanting to protest but unable to. Hodgkin's disease, frantic need to feel accepted, inability to accept self, feels a continual need to prove self. Huntington's disease, feelings of resentment for inability to change others, feelings of hopelessness and helplessness, feelings of deep sorrow. Hyperactivity, always wanting needs to be met, but feels helpless to have it happen. Frustrated due to inability to feel peace. Hyperthyroidism, feelings of rage for being overlooked. Hyperventilation, distrusting the flow of life, feelings of resistance to life and its uncertainties. Hypoglycemia, feelings of overwhelmed burdens, feeling a lack of joy in life. Hypothalamus, feelings of rage, feelings of insecurity, of displeasure, of sadness, feelings of anxiety. Hypothalamus governs the pituitary and the pineal gland, which in turn governs the endocrine system. Immune system, giving up, inability to care, feelings for others, feeling that everything is out of control, feeling that there's no use trying anymore, feelings of I'm not enough. Impotence, conflicting ideas about sex, fear, resentments, or guilt having to do with sex and sexual relationships, unresolved fears towards mother, psychic obsessions or sexual frustration, emotional nature affected by complexes, fixations, or neurotic attachments. Incontinence, weary of controlling the emotions, overflowing emotions. Incurable disease, long-standing condemnation of self and others, need to forgive all situations and people of the past. Indigestion, feeling everyone is against you, feel you need to fight your way through life, feelings of anxiety, fear of losing job, losing security. Infection, feelings of hostility, feelings of anger being manifested, feelings of suspicion or annoyance. Inflammation, feelings of rage, feelings of anger or fear. Influenza, believing the worst will happen to you, fearing the worst. Injuries, feelings of guilt and a need to be punished, feeling angry toward self, so needs to suffer. Insanity, unable to let go of old ideas or things of the past, wanting to escape, strong desire to separate or withdraw from life, inability to cope, wanting to flee from family. Insomnia, tensions in life, deep-seated guilt, feelings of fear and anxiety, reaction to potential threatening situations, intestinal diseases, inability to assimilate and absorb the new in life, wanting to live in the past, desire to stay in comfort zone, itching, desires gone unfulfilled, having a difficult time accepting where you are in life, wanting more than you're getting out of life, jaw problems, TMJ syndrome, feelings of rage, subconsciously wanting revenge, inability to express how one feels, joints, feelings of resentment, suppressing hurt feelings, kidney problems, extension of bladder but more severe, insensitive to situations where caring and concerning should be exhibited, trying to control life, being over judgmental, feeling emotional confusion, deep subconscious resentment towards people and experiences of the past, unfounded criticism of others, repressed emotions, kidney stones, hardened anger, knee problems, unable to be flexible, not wanting to bend, usually to authority, ego gets in the way, pride gets in the way, stubborn, wanting own way, knee left, need to be more receptive to events, feelings of insecurity, experiencing unresolved stress, knee right, need to be more assertive, not wanting to give in to authority, laryngitis, fears voicing opinions, feelings of resentment toward authority, repressed emotions and fears, gripped anger, irritation at someone or some situation, left side of body, feminine side represents receiving, leg problems, fear of moving ahead with life, fear of change, has difficulty in being resolute about issues, inability to understand, leg paralysis, avoiding situations you don't like, avoiding something you're afraid of, leukemia, feelings of deep depression, feelings of anger or ill will, significant loss of a parent or career position, feelings of total helplessness, giving up or quitting, unable to express emotions, feeling present conditions and future possibilities are intolerable, feelings of despair, leukorrhea, sexual guilt, feeling powerless, feeling anger toward mate, Lou Gehrig's disease, unwillingness to accept self-worth, denial of success, liver, anger center, feelings of unresolved anger, feelings of resentment and pettiness, being judgmental, critical thoughts, not forgiving self and others, feelings of injustice and revenge and of self-condemnation, feelings of regret over the past or sadness, being possessive, lockjaw, feelings of rage, wanting to control, inability to express how one feels, lungs, feelings of grief, not feeling approval, hurt where love is concerned, feels life is monotonous, lupus, feelings of deep-seated or seated grief, feels like giving up, laughing on the outside but crying on the inside, lymphatic vessels, breaking the laws of love, breaking the laws of peace and joy, resentment, hatred, or anger built up inside, lymph system, lack of enthusiasm, unable to feel acceptance, male problems, feeling inadequate in sexual role, refusing to let go of the past, feeling guilt for sleeping around, holding on to unpleasant memories of previous relationships, feeling unfulfilled in love. Mastoiditis, most often in children, not wanting to hear what is happening in surroundings, fears that affect the understanding, feeling left out. Menopause, fears this time of life and getting older, fears being rejected, feeling useless. Menstrual problems, unresolved feelings of guilt, fears role as a woman, feels no joy in being a woman. Migraine headaches, unable to flow easily with life, want to take things at own pace, dislikes being pushed, inability to handle pressure or stress for long periods, pushing to control, yet wants to control. Mind, overanalyzation, fear of the unknown. Miscarriage, fears timing is wrong, fears what the future will hold, fears the responsibility of baby. Mononucleosis, feeling unloved, feeling unworthy, feelings of anger from not being appreciated. Motion sickness, fears not having control. Mouth problems, resistant to change, fears moving out of comfort zone, opinionated. Multiple sclerosis, unable to be flexible, unreceptive to new ideas, hard on self, blames self, incorrect use of will, unforgiving of self or others. Muscle cramps, stubborn nature, a willful attitude, resists moving forward in life. Musculoskeletal diseases, muscular dystrophy, a form of self-created paralysis to keep from hitting someone or moving forward. Deep-seated anger that has not been resolved, feels I must experience pain. Myasthenia gravis, laughing on the outside but crying on the inside, feelings of helplessness in being able to change conditions. Deep-seated grief, feels like giving up, fears a change in life. Nail-biting, unfulfilled desires, feeling spiteful toward parents, feelings of frustration. Narcolepsy, wishing you were somewhere else, don't want to cope anymore, weary of responsibilities, wishing responsibilities would go away. Nausea, rejecting the visualization of something you don't want to see, wishing an undesirable situation had never happened, fear of something about to happen. Neck problems, moving under pressure, wanting to let feelings out but don't dare, inflexible state of mind, not wanting to yield to opinions you think are wrong. Non-acceptance and rejection of others. Nephritis, feelings of disappointment, feelings of failure, feeling life is unfair. Nerves, influenced by thoughts and feelings, how the body communicates within. Parasympathetic, holding on to things or people of the past that need releasing. Nervous breakdown, inability to communicate true feelings, fear of the future. Nervousness, inability to communicate feelings adequately, fear of the future, feelings of anxiety, confused thinking. Neuritis, feelings of being irritated without your consent. Your power is negated because of being irritated. Neurosis, feelings of overload, pressures in life too hard to bear, feelings that there's no letting up, I can't quit. Nodules, feelings of frustration and resentment, feel you always have to prove yourself, ego feels in jeopardy. Nose, bleeds, feeling overlooked, runny nose, crying on the inside, wanting help, running away from unwanted responsibility, stuffy nose, not accepting your worth, desire for love, numbness, not expressing love, not expressing consideration, obesity, using food as a substitute for affection, inability to admit to self or others what you really want, inability to express true feelings, seeking love, protecting the body, trying to fulfill the self, stuffed feelings. Osteomyelitis, feeling a lack of support, feeling frustrated with life, feeling angry at life. Osteoporosis, feeling totally unsupported in life. Ovaries, feelings of loneliness, desire to feel love and respect, feeling inadequate in sexual role. Overeating compulsive, tension, feeling a material emotional lack. Craving closeness, putting on emotional armor. A symbol of power and desire to throw one's weight around. Emotional energy based on anger and resentment. Overweight. Feelings of insecurity. Feelings of self-rejection. Wanting to protect the body. Seeking love and fulfillment. Attempting to fulfill the self. Feelings are being stuffed inside. Unexpressed, misperceived, and inappropriate feelings. Pain. God trying to get your attention. Repressed anger and frustration. In a relationship that hurts. Feelings of guilt, indicating that something is imbalanced. Palsy. Feeling stagnant in life. Feel you can't move forward. Pancreas. Feelings of judgment, feelings of guilt, low self-esteem, suppressing laughter, incorrect use of ego, feels the joy of living is gone, not allowing joy. Paralysis, feeling overwhelmed by responsibilities, subconsciously wanting to escape, resisting life, fear of the future. Paralyzed arms, left arm, difficulty in receiving from others. Right arm, difficulty in giving to others. Resistance to an unexplained hardness of will. Tension in the mind. Parasites, allowing feelings to rule you rather than you ruling your feelings. Parathyroid, unresolved anger. Parkinson's disease, wanting full control. Fears not being able to control. Pelvis, unable to remain grounded or focused in emotional activity, relates to holding on to sexual feelings. Peptic ulcer, feels a lack of self-worth, feels responsible for pleasing everyone. Phlebitis, feelings of being trapped, feeling there is no way out. Feels like life's immediate problems can't be solved. Pimples, unresolved frustrations, hidden anger surfacing, dislike of self. Pineal gland, corresponds with inner seeing and hearing, refusing to receive understanding and enlightenment. Misusing faith. Pink eye, feelings of frustration, feelings of anger at present situation, wanting to obscure what is going on around you. Pituitary gland, continually picturing ill health or sickness, feelings of being a constant recipient of bad luck and misfortune, not being able to see good in all things. Plantar wart, frustrated about life and the future, deep-seated anger. Pneumonia, weary of life, deep emotional hurts that have not healed, feelings of desperation. Pleurisy, feelings of antagonism, feelings of hostility. Postnasal drip, crying on the inside, feelings of inner grief, feeling you are a victim. Premenstrual syndrome, PMS, relinquishing power to others, rejecting the feminine aspect of self, prostate problems, ideas are in conflict about sex, refusing to let go of the past, fear of aging, feels like throwing in the towel, prostate cancer, repressed anger at being restricted, psoriasis, emotional insecurity, unwilling to be accountable for own feelings, unresolved deep-seated hurt feelings surfacing, pyorrhea, feeling angry at self for not being able to make decisions, rash, being irritated by something or someone, unable to flow with life, respiratory problems, not feeling approval, lack of love, fears living life to the fullest, rheumatism, feelings of resentment and wanting revenge, I'm a victim syndrome, long-standing bitterness, has a problem loving self and others, right-left split, right masculine side fighting and giving, releasing side, left feminine side protecting, receiving, taking side, sacroiliac problems, feel you're in the wrong place, job, city, relationship, etc. Sciatica, mental anxieties regarding creative abilities, sexual abnormality or frustration, over-concerned with money issues, being double-minded, senility, inability to stay in the present, longing to return to security of bygone years, wanting to control those around you, sex organs, feelings of apathy, feelings separated, shins, not being true to ideals and values, shingles, fear things won't work out the way we want, oversensitive, ongoing tension concerning a situation, hostile energy being manifested, shoulders, our expressive part, bearing burdens that don't belong to you, life is too great a burden to bear, carrying stressful responsibilities, lacking in courage, hunched and sloped, feels life is a tough struggle, round, feelings of hopeless, helpless, scoliosis, inability to trust life, sickle cell anemia, feelings of inferiority, sinus trouble, trying to call the shots in someone else's life, dominating and possessive, being irritated by a person close to you, skin disease, unresolved feelings of irritation, unresolved feelings of criticism, disturbed reactions over trivial things, lack of security, feelings of impatience, feeling bored, feeling unsettled, skin rashes, inner conflicts surfacing, someone or something is irritating you, feeling frustrated at not being able to accomplish something, slipped disc, feeling indecisive about life, feeling no support in life, snoring, refusal to eliminate old patterns, sore throat, feelings of anger going unexpressed, other negative feelings going unexpressed, spasms, thoughts and feelings of fear, spastic colon, intense feelings of insecurity, unable to let go and flow with life. Spine has to do with the ego. Ego getting carried away in pride, feelings of shyness, feelings of inferiority, spinal meningitis, unresolved feelings of rage, inflammatory thoughts, spleen, lack of self-love, not allowing self to feel others' love, feeling rejected, emotional conflicts, feelings of intense anger, antagonism, feelings of agitation and melancholy, sprains, feelings of resistance, inability to change directions in life, sterility, extreme nervous tension, hard and cold in attitudes, stiffness, inability to give, inflexible in opinions and attitudes, stomach cancer, feelings of wanting to get even, feelings of spite, wanting revenge, stomach problems. Our sense of security feels threatened, fears new ideas, lack of affection, condemning the success of other people, unhappy feelings, stuttering, wanting to protest but dares not, unable to express self, emotionally insecure, having to always please authority figures, stroke, rejecting life at a deep level, extreme resistance, self-violence, feeling overloaded with the pressures of life, feel like giving up, sty, not seeing the best in another person, unresolved feelings of anger toward someone, suicidal, feeling totally unable to resolve life's problems, feeling there is no hope for tomorrow, feeling what's the use, feels everyone would be better off without me, swelling, holding on to negative feelings, tailbone, unduly concerned with material needs and survival needs, teeth painful, inability to be decisive, tendons in knots, mental poisons, unwilling to accept full stature, need to forgive self, testicles, rejecting masculinity, thighs, fat, feelings of frustration about moving forward in life, fear of the future, throat, feelings of anger that have been restrained, strong critical words have been spoken, swallowed emotional hurts, not having your own way, feeling of confusion, lack of discernment, knowledge used unwisely, thrush, feelings of anger for making incorrect choices, thymus, master gland, feeling persecuted, feeling picked on, feeling life is unfair, feeling unprotected, thyroid, conflict between the conscious and the subconscious, fears, self-expression, deep sense of frustration, anxiety, lack of discernment, tendinitis, refusing to hear one's inner voice, not wanting to listen to higher laws, toes, worrying about minor details of the future, tonsils, tense, will, repressed fear or anger, irritation at someone or something, not getting on way, tongue, not speaking truth, inability to taste the beauty and joy of life, tuberculosis, continual selfishness, feeling possessive, being cruel to others, tumors, false growths, suppressed emotional hurts, unresolved feelings of hurt and anger, feelings of remorse, false sense of value and pride, results from not forgiving and releasing and forgetting resentments, feeling of no one cares, doesn't feel close to parents. Forgiveness and love are the two greatest solvents. Ulcers, worrying over details, conflict as to capability, frustration at not having things go the way you want, pressures are too much to bear, feelings of anxiety, fear, or tension, seeking revenge, feelings of conflict, helplessness, or powerlessness, underweight, worries, fears, distrusting life, feeling extreme tension, urinary infections, putting blame on others for your problems, allowing another to irritate you, uterine cancer, being ticked off at the male gender, repressed anger, feeling like a martyr, uterus, has to do with unresolved feelings toward mother, negative feelings toward creative aspect of life. Vaginitis feels sexual guilt, feels a need to punish self, feels a loss of someone or something loved. Varicose veins, pronounced tension, wanting to run away, feelings of discouragement, feelings of negativity and resistance, feeling overburdened. Venereal disease, feels a need to be punished, feeling guilty about sexual activities. Viral infections, bitterness and ugliness overshadowing the beauty and good in life, belief that I get everything that comes along. Vomiting, rejecting the visualization of what you don't want to accept, feelings of disgust. Warts, refusing to see the beauty in life, feelings of hate taking form. Yeast infections, deep and unresolved resentments, lack of self-love, inability to claim one's own power, unable to love and support the self, unable to accept the self, not recognizing own needs.